So that place I looked on Google Maps is up through here. So you see the white little hut there, or house, whatever it is. The steps are just beside there, and it's the groin to the right of there. So it's 5 groins along. I'm all too far to start counting the groins now, but it's 5 groins along from the first one at the steps back there. Whether those structures are the same now as what they were is another thing, because the Google Earth for the imagery of 2025 is shown at a high tide, and the imagery for the low tide is back in like 2022 or something. So a lot can change in that time. It's all good. So I'm down here at Winchealsea Beach, but I'm actually more towards the right end. It's the 16th of July 2025. I've already casted one rod out, and right ahead of me here, I've researched it on Google Earth, and it shows that around 200 yards out, there's an inlet, a gully that comes right through the middle. It's quite a long way out. I'm not proposing that I could even cast that far, but I know what I'm aiming for, and I know where it's likely going to be bait, all held up, and fish are going to come in. So the first one's already gone out on a Portsmouth rig. That's already gone out. That's around about 110, 120 yards. I'd say probably more than 110. I'm now about to put a pulley panel on there with 2 lug on there, both of them with 5-ounce weights. I've only got about an hour and a half to 2 hours to the high tide, so I'm going to make the most of it and get this one out now. The first one is dead straight where it should be. The second one I'm going to put ever so slightly over to the right hand side, just so I don't get my lines caught up. This one doesn't even need to actually go as far, so I'm going to actually cast from on top of this bank. That was a nice cast, and that went out a long way, so I'm happy with that one for sure. It could be slightly over rough ground, but we've got a pulley panel on there, so we stand a better chance of getting it out if it is. Let's get that anchored down and wait and see what we get. Both rods have got lug on them. The lug I got was from Winchealsea yesterday, and I made a particular choice of being very selective about the lug that I kept. So I kept lug that had a thicker skin, they were longer, and the rest of them I just gave to the birds. So I ended up getting 65 bringing home, and out of that 65 I managed to kind of get 60 that I think are actually worthy of fishing. Now, at the best of the lug that I've got. I've also got mackerel that I'm going to use a bit later on a pulley 6.0 hook. But I am down here late. It seems to be a theme of my videos recently, but today the reason for me being late is simply because the SD card had the video of my last session that I'm uploading to YouTube for you guys, and I couldn't take the SD card out for this session until that was done. But yeah, that's why I didn't want to abolish the uploading of that one. I'm going to concentrate on fishing now, see what we've got on the rod when it comes in, and hopefully we're going to get some nice fish today. The sun's out, put it back in its cooler bag, and I'm going to get all of this out my way. Not going to bake this one up just yet, because I don't want it sitting in the sun for too long, because it is getting hotter as the minutes go by. But I'm certainly going to have it ready to bait up when I'm going to be closer to the time of using it. We're all set up, basically. As this is my first cast, I'm not going to know what really I'm casting into until I bring it in. Ideally, it would be good to have come down here on a very low tide, got the drone over, that's what I would normally do, but I'm going to plan to do that, just to get an update of what the structure's really like. These spooler gun rod holders are actually turning out to be quite good. I haven't used them for that long, but so far they've been very good because they're not rock hard. Because I'm quite late down here, I'm not expecting to have to wait like I would normally for a bite. I am actually in the zone right now to catch, if I'm going to catch. The wind today certainly isn't what I would say is a westerly or southwesterly wind. The wind's coming from behind me, very light breeze at that. Southwesterly comes across this direction. This bigger growth area is the big giveaway for our mark. And then that white house over there with the steps. So we're definitely on the right spot. And it's dead center out there. Could be actually slightly off to the right, actually, cast wise. So it's 150 at the moment. And I think it was 350. Now 335 the high tide. So we've actually got a bit of time left, that's okay. I'm actually glad I got this DJI Action 4, because obviously it's waterproof, fully waterproof, and it's obviously better than the version 1 that they brought out, so it's quite a bit bigger leap. It's obviously not as good as the Pocket 3 in low light, but if it's raining, you know, I've got nothing if I haven't got this, because that Pocket 3 isn't waterproof. So I would quickly pack that away and I'll just use this. And I've actually got some extra magnetic clips for this, and I'm going to put one on the rod right there. There's actually a little tiny holder on there, and I better quickly just clip that on there if for some reason I can't use the Pocket 3. I'm going to set up this pulley panel with mackerel strip on it, and I'll put that on the left rod when I bring that in. And I shall put this in. Try and find a good bit of flesh to put it in on. That's it. That's all set up to go. As I said, I don't really want to leave that out there hanging there for too long in the sun. So I've just set it up just a couple of minutes before I've got to put it out there. Certainly didn't anchor all that well, to be quite honest with you. I'm certainly going over some rougher spots, like I can feel it's anchoring up and then letting go. But let's bring this in. That is entirely stripped, totally stripped with nothing on there. Wow. Look at that, absolutely nothing on there. Really. I shan't be getting these again. They're just too tough to clip your rigs on. Try and open it up. That was tough going. It's a very shallow beach here. Let's see if we're into a snag, shall we? Again, I've got one of these little mini clip things on again. God, what is it with these today? God. These have got a smaller swivel on them, so I should have an easier time. Yeah. So the right one is our mackerel, the left one is the Portsmouth rig. I can see there they are crossing, so I'm gonna, if you put your line down low, you'll get an indication whether you're crossing or not. There you go, that's better. Just to confuse you a little bit. So now the mackerel is on the left, the Portsmouth's on the right. These slug ain't bad. They're not bad at all. See there? And we rinse and repeat this process until we get a big monster fish coming in. Make this wire a little bit stronger. Not anchoring as well as I'd like. Oh, this is a pulley. Okay. I think I'll put a scratch of a squid on the bottom of that. All that flapping about. Just set. We are starting to get more movement now, as you can see. It's coming in closer. I will have to move my gear back a little bit, but I've got plenty of time to do that. We've got a good piece of squid on that one there, on the bottom and the top snood with 2 lug. And that one's to go out. The right rod's got the Portsmouth. I think there's 2 O hooks on that, so not too big. And the left rod has got the mackerel. Nice big chunk of it with 6 O hook. So I think we're doing all right. That breeze, that onshore breeze, happens just as the tide is starting to really push towards its peak. It's a good sign that there's a bit of movement, extra movement there. And this is normally a time where I'm really concentrating on those rods, looking at those tips, waiting. You'll always feel this onshore breeze. Sometimes it's a small amount and sometimes it's actually quite a bit of breeze and it appears to come from nowhere. But that's what happens as the tide is pushing up. And this happens also at low tide as well. You'll find it be a bit of onshore breeze as it's starting to push the tide up. The high tide I find generally much more easier than the low tide. You're not having to move as often and you can pretty much settle down with your gear and sit down for a while and just relax and just watch your rod tips. On the low tide you are being pushed back very quickly when it floods and you're having to go back and forth, picking all your gear up, moving back, and that's where you can get sand in your reel more often. So yeah, they have their pros and cons. They're both nice to fish, but if you want a relaxing fishing session, then the high tide would be the more relaxing one, in my opinion. If you wanted a bit more action, go for a low tide fish. Generally, I aim for 3 hours below before the low tide starts to flood in, and the last 3 hours of the high tide. They're both time periods where there's a window of opportunity of tidal movement that will be a likely time where the fish will feed. This will be a safe spot for now. A little bit of movement on that left rod there. That can easily be just simply because there's a large bait on there, so it's got more movement. Could be just a bit of interest, but we soon know if there's a fish on there with that. There'd be no denying that. It's exactly 2:30 now, so you've got about an hour to the high tide. Setting up a bling rig for flatties. Not fished this one yet. This particular flatty rig, it's got booms on it. It's got size 1 O hooks and size 6 hooks. So there's quite a scale of different hooks there that have been used on this. I've also got a bit of bling on there. Not fished it yet. It shouldn't get all tangled up, hopefully. But we will see. Snood lengths may be a little bit too long, but we'll see. It's not very aggressive tide out there, but normally you would go shorter, so I might try a shorter one after this. But yeah, certainly got a lot of bling on there for attraction. It's worth it. Little scratching rig. I've marked out these worms that I got yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Pack number 5 is like this, the smallest of the remnants, you could say. They're the smallest. Still not bad sizes, but they're certainly suitable for this. So that's why I have marked them out. You see this extra little tag sticking out. You push it above it, and sometimes it catches. Here we go. So it catches and goes into it, and it just helps stop it from going back down. This one here, I don't have to worry about that because I've got a pennel set up on this, and then we've got a size 1 O hook, so we can go a little bit bigger on the bait. As I said, the rest of these are going to give me a bit of bling in the sea. All good. Right. This one seems quite slack. We'll leave this one for the minute. A couple of minutes won't harm it being out a little bit longer. This one out is a very, very long way out. eels are certainly a possibility down here. It's gone light now, it's gone very light. But there's something on there. Not sure what it is, but there's something on there. Okay, so we got a small bass, small schoolie. And the smaller ones always fight more. Ooh. And that breeze, that wind say just got up. All right, this is where you change the direction. That wind has sort of come from nowhere. That's crazy. Sudden gust of wind. Right. You, my little friend, are going to go back. Well, I'm going to have a look at it on the camera. Little schoolie bass, very, very small. About 9 inches long, that's all. Very small. But it's a catch. There we go. Let's put that back into the sea. Now we're into the southwesterly winds, hence why I moved the rod. Those winds just changed direction really quick. Let's get this flatty rig out there. There's a chance we're going to get a tangle up here because of the winds. And we're down to that again, trying to get this on. It shouldn't be as hard with this particular swivel. It's a bit thinner. It's getting a bit colder and breezy. Winds are getting up. I'm gonna put my mags onto 7 for this. And we're gonna off the ground cast it, if I've got the room. Actually, I'm gonna off the ground cast it from up there. And we'll get the other one in. Put that squid and double lug out there. That particular bass that I just caught was fail hooked through the eye socket, so it didn't go for that lug. Southwesterlies are certainly in now, that's for sure. This was the problemsome one swivel they didn't like before. Okay. Let's get that out there. think I'll cast off from over this side. Should I? No. Cast from this side, I think. That was a beautiful cast. It was absolutely bang on straight as well. What's done well in particular today is the fact that this tripod, it's the K&F Concept 234A1, is held up. When that big gust of wind came along, it did not take over this tripod, because you can adjust it. It's got little clicking mechanisms as to how wide you want it, and you can actually have it completely out on the base there, 90-degree tripod legs. I've got mine more like that, and they're brilliant. The height of the camera, it's only about there, so that's fine for me. That last cast felt good, and it went a long way. It was beautiful. It was so straight that I could have put my hand right in front of my eyes, and that is exactly where it was heading. So I'm really pleased with that last cast. So the one on the right, the Century Tip Tornado, that doesn't need to be that high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down lower. We'll just take up the slack and put it underneath this rod. And you can go down here. Really doesn't need to be that high. I believe there is a spool lagoon version of this, actually. This one here. I'm going to get one because I don't want my new rod being scratched to pieces. The spool lagoon's more softer rubber. This is like really hard plastic. So reverted really down to 2 lug squid top and bottom of the pennel at extreme distances, and at closer distances within say 90-80 yards we've got a boom rig. It's got a combination of size 1/0 hooks on there, and it's got size 6 hooks on there. But if they are smaller, if they're 4s, then I will put it up on the screen. But they look like 6s to me. Quite small baits. So we're scratching a bit with that one as well, so we can get more than just one fish. Because even though I've caught, technically, it was fail hooked, so it didn't actually go for my bait, and I caught on the hook in the mouth. I've not had nothing with mackerel. Nothing's touched it. Nothing at all. And we're getting near the high tide, and there's no white bait, there's no mackerel. So that's a shame. It's the last bit of mackerel. I haven't caught one fish with 3 mackerel that I bought from the tackle shop, not one fish. I don't think it's baited up all that bad either. So hook showing, it's bound well, plenty of scent in it. Might chuck it out at the last minute maybe. My Portsmouth, that's That's ready to go. These little bait holders working a treat. It actually looks like it's going to rain, you know? Actually looks like it's going to rain. Still, at least I've got a fishing session out of it. Going to bring that scratching rig in. Oh, as it flips over the top with nothing on it. Just felt a little bit heavy, that's all. Nah, nothing's touched it. Nothing's touched it. All right. I'm offering quality bait here. I'm putting on ultra sharp hooks. I'm casting all kinds of distances. This is July. Would you have thought it? We're actually in July. In July you expect to be at the peak of fishing for summer. It's crazy to think that we could be even putting out a scratching rig, and even that's not good enough. Put it in really close, just as down there. Don't need to put it far. Thumbing it, stop it going too far. About 30 yards out, that's all. Go. I think we are heading towards the high tide now, yeah, so we've got 15 minutes until the high, roughly, give or take 10 minutes either way. For a 7-something metre tide, it's not very high, I have to say. So down here at 3:35, we're supposed to be at, oh, it's a bit lower down here, as down Hastings was actually higher. I looked last night. Here is only 5.5 metres, so that kind of explains a lot. Yeah, down further down Hastings way, it's 7 metres. So I go to Hastings now and have a look. Yeah, 7.25 metres in Hastings. Same time, but much higher. Buggers to get off these things. Right. There. Okay. Right. nicely into the sea. Let's dismantle this one. Shall put this pulley panel away. We are approaching the high tide now. I'm going to make the last two casts that I've already done, the last casts. This is a pulley, sorry, yeah, pulley. So we pretty much reached the end of this session now. The weather's been really nice. I've had some really nice casts today. It always helps if I'm standing on an elevated surface and it's quite flat when I'm doing a pendulum cast. But I think overall, I tried my best. I put the best out there and I've used different tactics, close in, far out, big hooks, small hooks, lug, squid and mackerel, and there's not really more that you can do. We've got a southwesterly wind now. It wasn't to start with, but it is now. It's gone like a northerly round to a southwesterly. But yeah, it's time to pack up, I think. These last two rods are basically the last cast that I'm going to be doing today.